Hello everyone, all hope you had a very wonderful, great day indeed, guys. Very sorry for actually shooting up this late. I was actually busy walking my dog Universe from across the entire estate, giving her some fresh air and all of that as well. I was also getting new ideas and brand new ideas of brand new characters and very much familiar new foes or villains and superheroes as well. While I was busy also walking my dog Universe as well. Regardless of that point, I was also busy writing new and old characters for my new book that we're actually currently in, as well to continue the episodes and the stories and everything else that is completely going on within the Ultimate Universe comics, which I quietly actually call it that, but it's called Sacred Ultimate Universe Comics. But anyway, guys, I'm so truly grateful for your support in viewing and in watching my episodes and for your comments through TikTok and through YouTube, through TikTok and through YouTube, especially from shorts and from long videos, and from those of you who are also subscribing as well, and from TikTok as well. Superly grateful for you guys. May you have a blessed, great weekend, and may you enjoy yourself and be very happy and take care of yourself and be very happy and be very blessed and stay happy and stay positive and stay true to yourself and pursue whatever goal or dreams that you're actually doing. And remember to always be very grateful and to be very blessful for what you have. Stay true to yourself and be very blessed and truly grateful for your support, guys. No matter what, have a blessed, great weekend and a great day. I will see you on Monday. I'll be able to upload the whole episode on Monday. For those of you who are watching YouTube, for those of you who are watching shorts, you will receive it. And for those of you who are watching TikTok, for those of you who are actually watching TikTok, you'll receive the full episode today as well. Regardless of the less, guys, the weather today is a bit cloudy and a bit off, but it's a bit sunny and it's still exactly the same. But nevertheless, I'm truly grateful for your support, guys. Love you. Have a blessed weekend and a great day. I'll see you on next week, Monday. On today's episode, we're about to speak about Lord Boy, who is the new Lord of Magic, who is quietly one of the most fiercest and greatly powerful, strongly ruthless, cruel proteges, or rather apprentices of the original Lord of Magic, who was quietly raised during the secretive Great Galactic, the secretive civil wars of the Sacred World during in his childhood times as well, and who's a founder and a leader of his powerful, secretive organization of elite criminals and of his dark and powerful, formidable magical empire that he has managed to form within his ancient and powerful shadowy criminal organization as well. Very ruthless and very compassionate. So let's exactly begin. In Lord Boy's early life, he was quietly born and raised within the sacred villages of the sacred world, which they were quietly under war, which they were, which they were quietly under war and under fire and being under attack by the great creatures of the by the great creatures of the sacred world and of the sacred universe that were countlessly at war amongst each other. Lord Boy exactly lost his parents during the great civil sacred war at the time of his early life, and he was forced to exactly wander around searching for new places for him to actually live and to gather food and to gather food and to gather food and to gather supplies and resources for himself in order to survive. During at that time, he encountered a very beautiful girl, which he was able to meet at the time as well, who was also just an orphan and also a refugee as well, struggling to survive. And the two of them exactly met and decided to pursue their goals and their mission until they encountered until Lord Boy encountered the boy who was the leader of the group survival, and he always exactly pursued Lord Boy to not to cry or anything else, otherwise won't be able to survive. The three of them exactly journeyed across the sacred world's villages that are completely ravaged by dark and powerful supernatural chaotic wars of supernatural creatures and creatures and soldiers and soldiers and armies that were countlessly waging war and wreaking havoc across the other sacred villages and worlds throughout the known worlds, throughout the isolated known worlds and planets and the sacred nations that are completely countlessly at war, that are completely countlessly waging war amongst themselves and completely destroying the sacred villages and lands of the sacred worlds, nations, and clans and tribes in the process. The three of them journeyed to the most more powerful secretive war zones of the sacred world, of the sacred nations, worlds, and villages, where they exactly encountered many dozens of refugees of their own who are also barely able to struggle. The three of them decided it's best that they actually stand up for these young supernatural creatures and these beings who are exactly mysteriously barely surviving the secretive civil wars of the sacred world, while the Four Nation Hunters' resources are barely stretched too thin during the warring times of the warring states of the sacred worlds, conflicts, and civil wars, during even at the particular same present time when the original Lord of Magic is in power as well in those times. In those times, the three of them exactly helped the refugees using their combined abilities and powers in controlling the natural elements of water, earth, and fire. Each of them discovered that they're very, very practically unique and very practically powerful, as Jim and Kara exactly pronounced, and Jim and Kara and introduced themselves to Lord Boy, and also told Lord Boy about their true intentions of stopping wars and chaos and destruction upon the sacred worlds, villages, and everything else, that they're willing to pursue these dreams and these goals, no matter the hardships or the challenges they'll be able to be forced to come against. And Lord Boy became very confident and became solely a true believer in Jim's goal, in Jim's sole goal, and his true motivational skills, that the three of them possesses greater, powerful, magical, dark, magical, supernatural, forbidden powers that they're willing to use in order to end all secretive conflicts and wars by any means necessary. Over the following years, the three of them exactly grew a powerful reputation as they became powerful warring teenagers, creating a powerful, sinister, ancient group of an organization known as Sinister Magic, which was partly founded by the three of them. And the three of them decided to actually lead this group of powerful supernatural creatures and beings, and they all combined their resources, which got the attention of a powerful, mysterious warlord who was ruling the sacred watery lands of the sacred nation. The three of them exactly made a truce with the secretive warlord, and they decided in order to exactly help him pursue his goals and his mission as well. During which, at that same time, the mysterious warlord was quietly tipped off by Luke Ghost, who told him that the sinister magic is planning a very, very devastating attack against his people and against the rest of his secretive nation, and that they are the secretive apprentices and proteges of the original Lord of Magic. The sinister warlord realizes that these three powerful proteges are actually the apprentices of the original Lord of Magic. How did the most powerful, ancient, dark, sinister, ancient being able to raise these three creatures and beings, able to raise these three apprentices of his own while he was quietly remaining at the Shadow Empire throne? Rather that the sinister warlord exactly discovered it's time to get rid of the sinister of the organization known as Sinister Magic once and for all, before it poses a greater threat to his rule, and to his global plans once and for all. Lord Boy and the other members exactly fought up against the other supernatural creatures of the warlord of the sinister warlord and able to take him down. Lord Boy exactly realizes that the great warlord of the great sacred watery lands was actually corrupted and very quietly ruthless, and that he was willing to exactly sacrifice the sinister magic goals and philosophy and peace for his own crusade and for his own dark ambition. Lord Boy exactly was forced to take a very drastic measures of action as he summoned a powerful monster from beneath the ground, unleashing his forbidden dark magic and unique, powerful, forbidden techniques of his powers and his greater abilities, as a monster managed to literally decimate all the sacred soldiers of the sinister warlord who was trying to wipe out the sinister magic's organization and of its empire forces. Lord Boy rose to the occasion and saved the three of his comrades, but he barely survived. Jimmy barely actually survived the attack, but he was able to exactly recuperate well, as he can still able to exactly stand up Lord Boy completely rose to the occasion and defeated and decimated all the soldiers until Luke Ghost completely disappeared from the attack. Unaware that Luke Ghost was quietly behind this conspiracy and this orchestration of them being ambushed, Lord Boy exactly straight up attacked the Sinister Warlord, and the Sinister Warlord completely teleported himself and was never again seen again. The three of them exactly promised themselves that this from here on out now, they will force the sacred worlds and the sacred nation into global unity and into unification and into peace, regardless of how it may look, and the organization itself will remain a dark and shadowy organization, because here on out now they are beginning a new goal and a new mission, and that nothing or anyone else will ever oppose them or stand in their way. The monstrous, powerful, sacred, magical dark monster statue disappeared after that, and Lord Boy was very completely tired out and dried out of his power after that. On the early years after the attack against the Sinister Warlord, Lord Boy and Kara and Jim were exactly reborn in a different name, as they were able to convene with the dark magical druids on the sacred tower of the sacred watery lands and villages that were exactly mysteriously secretly conquered by the original Lord of Magic, as the associates of the original Lord of Magic told Lord Boy and the three proteges that it's time for them to fulfill their purpose and the directive, mission, and their goal once and for all. Lord Boy exactly reassured the messengers and the followers of the original Lord of Magic that he will gladly proceed with the given task and with the given mission, and that he will not actually fail its true purpose and its code. So did Jimmy, and so did Kara as well. They exactly vowed that they'll make sure that the dream and the goal successfully bears fruit one way or another. After that, the mysterious dark magic users vanished within the shadows, as the three of them exactly talked about their true purpose and their plans in order to further their future plans and their goals. Lord Boy exactly told them it's time for them to recruit powerful, sinister, dark, magical, and very, very various, dangerous criminals who could aid them on their respective missions and their goals as well. And they all completely decided on that. During the early years, Lord Boy exactly remained within the secretive tower, as was ruling the entire secretive waterland by actually ruling the secretive water nation lands by actually waging a civil war against the sinister warlords forces and his family, and he completely annihilated them and destroyed them, while the others completely bowed down to him and completely followed him and viewed him as a god-like figure of the entire secretive isolated water of the secretive nations, of the water nations, and of the sacred water nations and clans, and of all its tribes and all of its people, as all the supernatural creatures and beings begin to believe that Lord Boy was indeed a supernatural godlike figure of a savior as well. During within those middle years, the former master known as a sacred master, known as a former master and teacher, as a sacred master known as sacred master, quietly heard the rumors and stories about his former students that he quietly trained during the early years of the sacred civil wars, after what the secretive formation hunters have actually done to ravaging the entire secretive isolated worlds and villages and nations of its entire clan and villages and worlds and people during the wars. And he was able to hear rumors about their exploits, about them succeeding, and about their recent death, and a way that they completely actually survived during at that time as well. Lord Boy and the three founding members and the other original founding members of the Sinister Magic managed to form the new empire, a powerful dark sinister empire with powerful evil warlords and commanders who decided to exactly serve them, to making sure that they have powerful battleships and battle cruisers and battleships and highly advanced airship fleets, and highly advanced hot air balloons, which will actually help the nation highly evolve and adapt to what's coming, as they all completely agreed as well. After that, they dispatched countless invitations to powerful, secretive, individual super criminals and powerful, dangerous super villains who are very much quietly, some of them were very much quietly wanted, others of them were very much quietly not exactly wanted, regarded to be missing, and some of them were quietly regarded to be not be missing, while the others were regarded to be feared and to be dangerous and very deadly, and the others were regarded to be terrified, mythical criminals that can never be underestimated, as each of them went to go and actually recruit a very sinister, powerful criminal to join the organization and its goals and its mission, as well as they all began to do that. On the 25th of January, on the 25th of January, on the day of the death, on the original Lord of Magic, the members of Sinister Magic all convened on a secretive, misty, concealed cave on a hidden location where there are powerful, dark monster statues all exactly standing, and each member was quietly in a dark holographic on a dark, powerful, shadowy holograms of themselves, able to conceal their identities, and they all began speaking the next interpretation of their goals and also furthering their future plans and their long-term goals in the process. Lord Boy exactly began to tell the members that the future plans of their goals will continue, that the demise of the death of the original Lord of Magic is such a great tragedy and a great loss to all of them, and that this organization will continue to mourn him regardless of that, as they all agreed that they continue to mourn him until the 1st of February as well. On the 15th of February, when the Universal Heroes completely exactly disappeared after fighting a very greater sinister force of evil from the other side of the sacred universe, which created a powerful blast of a greater cosmic explosion across the sacred universe, which in other words created another power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, and the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders place their allegiances to themselves, while the others place their allegiances and loyalty to the new Lord of Magic and to his ancient, secretive, shadowy organization, and also to the other new Lord of Magic and to the other powerful, dangerous original Lord of Magic's dark, mysterious followers of dark magic users and sinister criminals as well, while the others continue supplying the ancient, secretive groups of criminal organizations with powerful destructive technology, as well as those ancient sinister groups of criminal organizations agreed to actually supply them with more worlds and more planets that are under their sole control and in place under their sole control as well. On that day, the members of Sinister Magic begin to reconvene again on the different bases of operation, which was quietly a hidden dark crystal cave, and this time they were all in dark holograms as they all began to speak about the next plan of their next move, which could easily exactly give them the next time, which could easily exactly help them furthering the next interpretation of their goals and of their mission. Lord Boy exactly told the members it's time for them to begin fulfilling their rightful missions and their rightful purposes as well, by any means necessary, as they all agreed to do that as well. On the 29th of March, Lord Boy exactly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the chambers of the sacred nation worlds that he was able to rule and conquer from, which the base of the operation and the coordinates are very much quietly is secluded in an undisclosed location, which was able to keep it private, as he told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that they must still sow allegiances to him and his empire. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders know very well not to betray or double-cross Lord Boy, as he's a powerful godlike figure that can never be taken lightly or underestimated, as they all sown their allegiances and their loyalty, and they continue supplying his dark organization with destructive and more compatible technology. As long as Lord Boy agrees that he will return, will also give them the same amount of resources and power. Lord Boy successfully agreed, and that is exactly what he will precisely do as well. On the 25th of April, the members of Sinister Magic reconvened again, this time on a different darker cave, which was quietly different base of operation, where they all exactly convened, and this time Lord Boy exactly summoned a powerful monster, magical giant monster statue that he summoned in a previous years of centuries, when he was able to use it to demolish and wipe out the sinister warlords' armies and soldiers in the previous event. This time, He explained the plans of Sinister Magic's goals and of its mission to the members, to the newest members of the organization and to the original members of the organization, and stated to them that their goal and purpose is for them to rule the sacred universe and the sacred world and the known universe in order for them to further their top plans and their goals to remaining the sole rulers and leaders of the sacred world and of the sacred universe, and for them to capitalize it, often for them to also to capitalize on that goal and also on its mission. Meaning, in other words, they must exactly drive out the competitors' money and all their power and all their powers and abilities from the sacred criminal underworld, so that they will be the ones remaining in power and in control over the sacred criminal underworld. That by doing so, it will exactly strip and cripple the Order of the 12 and the Order of the Five's influence across many civilizations and many known nations and worlds, as they were all exactly in the dark, holographic, shadowy, holograms, where they're all able to exactly conceal themselves, able to exactly conceal their identities and their faces, as Lord Boy exactly told the members that the plan is just as much the same as the operation, in order for them to capitalize through the chaos and the destruction, and to make sure that their main competitor, the new Lord of Magic and Lord Clay, must never be underestimated, and especially the universal heroes. As the newest member of Sinister Magic told Lord Boy that the universal heroes possess greater abilities and are becoming stronger and very formidable obstacles that can never be defeated, and that the other supervillains have learned the hard way that these heroes have completely jeopardized their future plans and their goals instead of them actually benefiting, and by truly underestimating their ability will be a big mistake for them not to actually do that. Lord Boy exactly reassured the members of Sinister Magic that the goals and the mission of the organization come first, and that the obstacles will be destroyed and they'll be forced to be reckoned with by any means necessary as well. After April the 15th of April, 2 years have passed. Two months have actually have passed during their last meeting, after they all exactly convened from May to June, and after that, during all of them had managed to exactly convene on the 25th of July. On the 25th of July, the sacred nations and the rest of the other sacred leaders were hosting a powerful sacred exams for all the magical creatures and beings and supernatural creatures of all the sacred worlds, villages, planets, tribes, clans, and local villages, and very interesting villages and sacred small nations and clans of the other worldly clans and villages that are quietly scattered across the sacred worlds and sacred universes, in order for them to actually come. During at that time, the great Phoenician hunters dispatched a messenger to go into sacred water worlds, to go into the sacred watery worlds of the sacred watery nations, in order for them to investigate the affairs and the conspiracy. That's exactly what happened to the sinister warlord that ruled there as well. Unaware of this, Lord Boy exactly told Kara that right now they can't expose the shadowy organization to the sacred public right now, not ready to take the shadowy organization to public. But he wanted to make sure that the sacred nations and the four nation hunters still believe that the sinister warlord was still the sole ruler, and that he told Kara that the students must go up there to put in a greater performance, and that they must able to also open up their eyes and ears to what the sacred nations and to what the other sacred nations and creatures and beings were actually planning, and in order to help them finding more power and more greater resource than ever, which could help them further their plans and their goals in the long process. But they must also keep out the name that Lord Boy and the rest of his forces are the ones in control, and that the sinister warlord is the one still in control, in order for them to make sure that the organization's movements and any of its plans are not discovered by any secretive intergalactic coalition operatives of the Four Nation Hunters and to the United Heroes, which will draw the unnecessary attention to their goals and to the organization. Kara also quietly agreed with that opinion, and agreed with the wise strategy of action, that it is indeed the best course of action for them to take, in order for them to actually remain in the shadows of the sacred world and of the sacred universe, not to actually take the organization yet fully public. To doing so, Kara exactly began to mysteriously disappear out of a powerful paper of dark magical papers, and she was ready to tell the students of the sacred water worlds that their assignment is about to begin, and that this is exactly what they precisely have to do as well. On the 29th of August, Lord Boy exactly summoned the members of the Sinister Magic to convene on another different cave location, was the cave's location, secret basis of operation is undisclosed, and this time they were all exactly sealing a powerful orb of dark powers and dark abilities into the supernatural magical monster statue itself, as Lord Boyd began to explain that their goals are about to be so complete, and that the first plan of phase of their goals is for them to continue waging war against the sacred worlds of the Four Nation Hunters and of the Universal Heroes. The other member exactly questions Lord Boyd's true intentions and the organization's full long-term plans, as Lord Boyd began to explain to the newest member of the organization that this is exactly the organization's goals and mission, for them to capitalize on the sacred worlds, nations, countries, continents, and everything else on the known worlds and on the known worlds and on the fringes of the sacred magic universe, for them to use these wars to annihilate wars and conflicts from all sizes, which will cripple the cosmic balance of power and shift it to them, that by doing so, the sacred nations and the Four Nation Hunters will completely rely on sinister magic's resources, and it will also drive out their top competitors out of the game, because their prices can't compete with sinister magic's prices in order for them to keep up with the same rate, and also to gathering money and unlimited resources from the Shadow Empire warlords and from powerful, mysterious, evil warlords and commanders, and from warlocks and druids who will also supply the organization, and by giving it more power and more unlimited cosmic resources for them to actually remain in power, and they will remain the sole rulers of the sacred world and of the sacred universe and of the known universe in the process, as Lord Boy began to explain to the members of the organization, in the dark holographic shadowy holographic holograms of themselves, where they're all able to disguise themselves and literally hide themselves in their true faces and their identities as well, while actually proceeding with the dark magical ritual that they were quietly actually proceeding with as well. On the 29th of September, Lord Boy exactly met up with his old associate and colleague from his sacred tower of the sacred water worlds, where he and Kara and Jamie were exactly sitting at the chairs where the light was quietly shining on the chairs that they were all quietly sitting on, as they all exactly begin to explain their goals and their purpose and their mission to one another. The mysterious associate told Lord Boy that he's very quietly pleased that he's managed to take the organization's goals and long-term plans and its true future goals and long-term plans to a far greater height than ever before, and that one way or another it will soon successfully bear fruit. As the new mysterious associate told Lord Boy, do not underestimate the universal heroes. They are powerful force of good that must never be reckoned with, and their abilities in interfering and thwarting the other ancient secret society's goals and plans has managed to be proven true by the other forces of evil who have fought up against them and have learned the hard way. Lord Boy exactly told his old associate and great partner and friend that he will not make that same mistake, and that he will never actually make that same mistake as ever before, as he actually reassured his partner and longtime friend as well. On the 19th of October, Lord Boy exactly standed out of the other worlds and planets and civilization, as he completely exactly standed on the tower's hand as he realized that the future plans of the sinister magic are about to successfully bear fruit one way or another as well. On the 20th of November, Lord Boy exactly secretly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in a dark, powerful laboratory cave within the mystic of the ancient worlds and planets, where he completely told them that their loyalty and their great services to the organization has been greatly known, and that doing so, that their devotion and their great allegiances to them will forever be thankful for. As the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders exactly thanked Lord Boy for his great bravest work and commitment to them, and that they are able to reassure Lord Boy that forever remain associated to him and to the rest of his organization as well. And Lord Boy was successfully very much reluctantly pleased as well. Between December and January, there was a sort age of a huge liberation front between the evil warlords and the intergalactic coalition of the Four Nation Hunters, who managed to draw a huge liberation on the other worlds and planets and civilization, which during both of those months, Lord Jet and Lord Boy were able to reconvene on an ancient powerful crystal temple all to themselves, able to discuss their plans and their preparations of their goals and of their soul missions that were quietly given to them, as they actually able to meet up in those temples and to discuss their plans and their goals and the furthering of their goals and their plans, as Lord Jet, who is also the new Lord of Magic, began to reassure Lord Boy that their partnership still stands the same as it did many centuries ago, and it always exactly will remain the same as it did many centuries ago, back then when they were being trained by the most powerful, dark, ancient, magical, dark savior known as the original Lord of Magic. Lord Boy exactly told Jet that he was also quietly successfully pleased to see an old student and an old comrade rising to the occasion and living up to his fullest potential, as he completely congratulated Lord Jet to his greatest succession in rising in power and taking control of the new Shadow Empire and of his new ancient shadowy organization that he managed to reassemble many centuries ago and managed to reform now as well. Which happened, this meeting and this convening happened between December and January, which exactly took place in both of those months during the liberation attacks of all worlds and planets, when the evil warlords and warlocks were at war by the intergalactic coalition of the Four Nation Hunters as well. On the 29th of February, Lord Boy exactly was able to meet up with the mysterious shadowy figure who was his old associate within his towering world and planet, and told him that the preparations are set and everything else is ready to go the way it's supposed to be. The mysterious shadowy figure told Lord Boy that he must tell the other members of Sinister Magic to begin sealing the remaining powers of the dark magic powers and abilities and everything else that they managed to gather, and they must also proceed on with the goals and the great limitations of the organizations, because right now they cannot afford to underestimate any obstacle or any intervention or any interference from furthering their goals and their soul mission, as Lord Boy intends to agreed on that as well. The mysterious shadowy figure disappeared into the darkness of the building. After that, he was never seen again by Lord Boy. Lord Boy could not exactly detect or sense his shadowy, powerful, dark, ancient presence. After that, he completely disappeared, as Kara exactly revealed herself from within the shadows of the building and told Lord Boy that the preparations are ready to go and that everything else is ready to take place as well. On the 15th of March, Lord Boy exactly summoned the members of Sinister Magic as they all exactly reconvene on a powerful dark crystal temple, this time in the shadowy holograms, where they're all exactly concealing their identities and themselves as well, as Lord Boy exactly told them the news that everything else is about to take place and that the operation is about to successfully move on to the next phase of the plan. The other members who don't exactly feel bad about the deaths of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, as the other members told Lord Boy that he did the right thing by trying to warn the other evil Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, stated to them that they made a huge big mistake by not showing their allegiance and their loyalty, and they were actually forced to learn the hard way of what it means in order to join forces with us, relative to facing the worth of the Four Nation Hunters and of the Universal Heroes. Regardless of that, Lord Boy wasn't on exactly much concern about the other useless, disposable Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, as he told the members of the organization that they must focus on the goals and on the mission of the organization, of his sole purpose, as each member joined the organization to further their own goal and their own sinister agenda, to better the world in their own way and in their own submissive way and in their own dark submissive way, or in their own dark submissive way or powerful different perspective, which is what they all purposely agreed on, that they all joined up to Sinister Magic to further their own goals and their own powerful missionary agendas as well on that very month and on that very day. On the 20th of April, Lord Boy was able to meet up with the different mysterious shadowy figure who also created a powerful dark holographic figure of himself, as he told Lord Boy about the information and everything else about the operations and the successful operations of everything else that went down on the other sacred worlds, on the other sacred worlds, and the other sacred universe, as he told him that the golden masters of the golden universe are becoming unlikely, very powerful, and very much quietly dangerous, and very much quietly unpredictable, as they've also quietly proven to be very much unpredictable and unwilling to participate, to joining forces with us. Lord Boy exactly told the mysterious shadowy figure in the dark holographic hologram that everything else is going according to plan the way it's supposed to be. The Golden Master's retaliation against the Sacred Universe's forces is what will back up their plan and their goal into making sure that the conspiracy, what happened with the fallen Valak Hellfire and the original Lord of Magic, is never again discovered. Nevertheless, he asked about the ancient, mythical, dark, powerful, magical creatures that he was able to search about and locate from his ancient archives. The shadowy, powerful, dark holographic figure told Old Boy that these magical creatures and powerful creatures that you're trying to actually locate to amplify and to grow your powers are very powerful and very ancient, and they can never be found or either way be located because they are on the unknown worlds, and on the unknown worlds, or rather within the sacred forest. Lord Boy exactly told the shadowy figure and a dark holographic figure that he knows exactly who to exactly go to get that much intimate knowledge as well. On the 25th of May, Lord Boy exactly created a powerful dark shadowy holographic hologram of himself, as was able to speak to the other mysterious dark shadowy holographic holograms of the other mysterious associates of his longtime mysterious ancient associate of his own, as they all agreed to share the knowledge and the expertise of what they know about the mythical magical creatures that are exactly residing within the sacred worlds, sacred forest, and within the sacred worlds, sacred forest, and within the sacred worlds known universes, worlds, and planets. And they all agreed that they'll aid each other on their respective missions and goals, to utilizing each other's resources and missionaries to further their own goals and their sole objectivity on their mission, and their primary targets as well. Lord Boy was very quietly proud that he was managed to gather more allies and more powerful, formidable associates along the way. After that, his shadowy holographic of himself, of his shadow of himself, decided to disappear after that and vanished, and he returned back to his body after that, back in normal and everything else. And he told Kara and Jimmy and the two founding members of his organization that the plans can now begin to successfully bear fruit, as well as the two able to tell him that the members are very eager to begin to pursuing their goals and their long-term goals and mission in the process, which means could benefit them as well. But they warned Lord Boy not to underestimate the universal heroes who pose a greater obstacle to your plans and to their goals, which could interrupt them. He learned the hard way that they can never be underestimated, and that he will never make the same mistake as the original master did, known as the original Lord of Magic as well, as they all purposely agreed on that as well. Despite this, guys, Lord Boy is a very powerful ancient figure, of the next powerful unknown reincarnation of the original Lord of Magic. He's very, very optimistic and very loving and kind. He had two powerful, warring, beautiful parents of his own who lived on the sacred isolated villages of the sacred world's hidden watery nations that are quietly under war and being ravaged by war during the following centuries of the sacred civil wars that the sacred nations and clans waged war amongst themselves, when the Four Nation Hunters exactly were forced to taking action. Despite that, he managed to learn to stand on his own, to becoming highly independent, and met up with Kara and Jimmy, who became his long lasting best friends, and who took it upon the three of themselves to exactly fulfill their goals and their mission, which all three of themselves created a powerful philosophy and a powerful ancient organization known as Sinister Magic, with the sole goal and mission of helping other worlds and planets and civilization. But the organization's mission and objectivity took a different change of depart in a different direction after a powerful incident and a very powerful incident, an attack and ambush by the sinister warlord, who was able to attack them and initially ambush them in order for him to gain power, in order for him to seize power and control over the sacred watery national worlds and planets and civilization, of these isolated worlds and planets and civilizations of him for himself, in order to remove the threat permanently. After that, Lord Boy's entire mental state and physiology and perspective and philosophy began to change swiftly. Within the middle centuries of the middle years, the original Lord of Magic trained Lord Boy in the dark, in a secretive dark arts way, to projecting a powerful shadowy dark magical holographic hologram of himself, and also practicing and also taught him the ways of teleportation, of powerful dark teleportation, to teleport himself when he's in grave danger. And he also gave him the great techniques, forbidden techniques, and the greater abilities to learn and also to study of summoning powerful creatures and powerful monsters, and also creating wood attacks and wood golems, and creating powerful dark portals and dark creatures, regardless of the last. He was rather optimistic, very loving and very kind and very brave and very honorable and very, very still trusting and worthy, and very merciless and ruthless, now merciless and ruthless and very, very unspeakable and unpredictable foe that the Phoenician hunters and the universal heroes have never faced. Due to all these years rumored to be dead and to be quietly dead by his other former master and teacher, who also exactly taught him the ways to fight during the great years of the Sacred Civil Wars, who also taught the three children how to fight and learn. They also believe that the previous former students died during the secretive conflicts and wars when they heard rumors about the organization, and after hearing that it's quietly disbanded and died, not knowing that it was quietly actually a cover-up in order to conceal the actual existence of themselves, being rumored to still be alive, but alive and reborn in a different, dark, mysterious way. During within those middle years, Lord Boy began reassembling and reforming his sinister dark empire and his organization at the time, recruiting dangerous, powerful, individual, submissive, supernatural criminals and deadly, terrifying criminals of the sacred world and of the sacred universe to join his organization, which they all joined his organization, while the others remained to join his organization, who were former members when the organization was quietly founded during the early centuries of the sacred civil wars, or during the ancient centuries of the sacred civil wars of the sacred civil wars of the sacred world, which they all exactly remained to join and still participate in the organization's goals, which they solely believe in as well. Regardless of that, he's very, very, very a super strategist and a tactician, extremely immortal, very resourceful, and very, very clever, incredibly smart, very precisely well reversed in hand-to-hand combat, and very good in mastering forbidden techniques and powers and darker abilities of his own. According to his former master and teacher, is that Lord Boy was actually indeed and definitely indeed the actual reincarnation of the previous original Lord of Magic, and that he was actually the sole reincarnation of the previous original Lord of Magic, due to him gaining so much experience in such a short time of space, mastering these powerful dark abilities and powers and hidden techniques and forbidden techniques in short space of time. His former masters and teachers were very completely surprised and literally taken aback by him, as they quietly figured that he was actually a savior sent from the sacred heavens of the sacred universe by the fates and by the gods of light to save the sacred world and the sacred universe from all conflicts and wars that were raining down. But regardless of that, Lord Boy decided to use his forbidden power and dark powers and ability to further his goal of sacred peace and of sacred control over the sacred world and over the sacred universe, so that he and his new enlightened colleagues will remain the sole rulers of the sacred world and of the sacred world, sacred nations, countries, worlds, villages, magical clans and magical kingdoms and worlds, powerful known worlds and fringes of the known worlds and civilization. Regardless of that, Lord Boy even forms powerful shadowy alliances with other ancient, powerful, formidable, ancient, shadowy groups of criminals who are also unknown to sacred history, who have been manipulating events and greater events, and also instigating events and orchestrating events that will also benefit the sacred world's history in order for it not to be destroyed in a far future of the next generation that are about to also arise and take over where they actually left and failed. He's extremely immortal, and due to his long gravity, he's able to think back and faster and very quick, and he's very, very, very unpredictable and literally unknown. The Four Nation Hunters don't know nothing about Lord Boy. They have no records and nothing else about him. According to the sacred books of the criminal, according to the sacred books of the criminal books of the sacred world, the unknown shadowy members of sinister magic and of the order of power and of the order of death are literally unknown shadowy criminals who are still unknown to the sacred world and to the rest of sacred history. Despite that, Lord Boy uses that to his advantage in order to conceal the organization, in order to conceal the shadowy elite criminal organization from the sacred world's existence, which provide him and his powerful individual associate to operate from the shadows of the sacred world, which in other ways maintaining their usual basis of operation as well as a central headquarters, which provides them security and safety ways for them to remain safe and for them to actually convene and discuss their plans in full secrecy and also to operate in the shadows as well, which gives them a much power and a much greater authorities for them to further their plans and their sole goals and mission. Regardless of the less, Lord Boy is a founder and leader of the sinister magic, and he's very powerful, dangerous, rumored to be the sacred savior of the sacred world many years ago during the middle years of the sacred civil wars when the other sacred nations and worlds were completely waging war against each other. He is to be revered to be the next savior of the sacred world, but unknowns to others, he took a dark turn, and a very powerful dark turn, due to what he experienced after seeing his friends suffered at the hands of evil forces, and he learned the hard way that peace must be achieved and chaos and control must be achieved throughout the hardest and most heartless way and by ever means necessary. He's very resourceful, very skilled in the dark arts and in dark magic and in teleportation and in opening portals, very skilled in forming formidable alliances with other shadowy criminals and with powerful sinister warlords and warlocks and druids who are able to work alongside him and who believe in his goal and his obligation of his mission and his true purpose as well. Regardless of that, he even forms powerful ancient alliances with the Shadow Empire warlords who become his associate as well, who aid him to becoming his high-ranking official members to his new empire and to his organization as well, by giving them unlimited resources and greater intelligence and information, which the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in return supply his organization and his operatives with destructive and more compatible technology as well in return. He's very skilled in dark teleportation, opening portals, creating a powerful shadowy holographic figure of himself, able to literally create powerful illusions, summoning powerful monsters, creatures, and animals from an unknown dimension, which has been granted in the power of summoning the monster statue, which he can control and use as a force of power to decimate and demolish any threat and any obstacle that might actually pose a threat to his way. Very resourceful, very skilled in the dark arts and in dark magic and in all aspect of powers of mastering lightning energy, fire energy, powerful light magic, mastering shadow energy, all the abilities of healing and giving life and taking life away, and also restoring death and power and controlling shadow energy and light energy and will, and very powerful enough to destroy an entire sacred nation's world and land with a powerful force force of power and of greater magic. Very resilient on his tremendous life force of power, which has been granted of. He's a previous descendant of the actual lightning and shadow clan and of the druids and the dark druids and of the dark witches, which makes him very uniquely powerful and very uniquely special. Lord Boy, who is a new Lord of Magic, is very powerful. He possesses a tremendous power of life force. Due to him being connected to the monster statue, he still has tremendous power and immense life energy and life force in his body and in his rightful genetic DNA, which makes him extremely immortal and very powerful and very dangerous and a deadly foe. not meant to be underestimated. He can manipulate lightning, water, fire, earth, and all type of sacred elements and powers and dark magic powers and light magic powers and abilities with repulsive forces, controlling minds, mind controlling, telepathic, greater endurance and agility, super limping and super hearing, super sight, given the power of sensory to sense any threat or any foe from a far distance, which has been quietly given off, and with the power to foresee anything else that might come or happen in a far greater distance. He maintains his basis of operation as well as the sacred villages nation that he rules us from, and he uses it as a basis of operation to actually meet and convene with this secretive, shadowy associate of his in order to talk about their plans and of their goal. He learns from the other ancient, powerful secret societies that the universal heroes must never be underestimated, especially the abilities in thwarting his operation and his long-term plans and his goals as well. He has powerful, shadowy operatives and soldiers and an army of battle cruisers and of battleships, of highly advanced battleships on and airship fleets and of hot air balloons at his disposal. His empire is a shadowy empire as well as his organization, which remains in the shadows of the sacred world and of the sacred universe, one of the most dominant and most powerful empire ever known. Due to this, he uses it in order to conceal it and to protect it, and he uses powerful ancient dark crystal temples to practice his dark magical powers and abilities and his greater forbidden techniques and powers at will. Very resourceful and very well educated in dark magic and in the dark arts of his forbidden powers and his forbidden techniques, and very, very powerful and very ambitious and willing to further the goals of controlling the sacred universe and eliminating and exterminating all wars and conflicts by any means necessary. He doesn't believe in the goal of the original magic of exterminating and annihilating the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans and formation hunters. He doesn't actually believe in that goal. He actually believes in the goal of having soul control and dominance over the sacred worlds, nations, and countries and worlds, planets, magical cities, and kingdoms and schools and all of that, by placing them under his sole control and dominion. That is exactly what he believes. He possesses the power of flight, levitation, telekinesis, mind controlling, shadowgraphic evolution, shadowgraphic power, shadowgraphic evolution to create a shadowy image, to create a shadowy hologram of himself, which he does it a lot more often than he actually to reveal himself in the shadows in order to conceal his identity. Very resourceful and very optimistic and very, very powerful. The other members viewed him as a godlike figure and a monk who is very powerful and not meant to be messed with, and he hides his driven, forbidden power and his abilities from the other members, except to those of ones who know him, of the original founding members of Kara and Jamie, who are the original members of Sinister Magic as well. Well, guys, that's it for today. I'll actually see you on Monday. Have a blessed weekend and a great, great, great weekend indeed, guys. Enjoy yourself and stay safe and stay happy. Love you all. Please continue to like and subscribe, and please continue to support my channel. It really quietly means a lot to me. But still, guys, I'm super grateful for those of you who are subscribing and for those of you who are still viewing and watching my episodes and my videos from TikTok and from YouTube and from Swords. Have a blessed weekend and have a great, great weekend. Stay happy and stay positive and stay true and enjoy yourself and love yourself and have fun. See you on Monday. Bye. Bye.